Welcome to the midnight tide, where shadows whisper, darkness hides. We're diving deep into the unknown, on a journey you're not alone. From haunted halls to specters lost, we'll guide you through the eerie frost, with tales that chill and spirits roam. A freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient domes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Welcome to the midnight tide, where shadows whisper, darkness hides. We're diving deep into the unknown, on a journey you're not alone. From haunted halls to specters lost, we'll guide you through the eerie frost, with tales that chill and spirits roam. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show.
What is up, freaks? This is Ryan.
And this is Rhonda.
Happy October. No, actually, happy National Roast Pheasant Day.
Roast?
Yes.
Pheasant.
Roast
Well,
pheasant.
that's almost appropriate. We're in like fall. We should be
does.
roasting things.
I can't say I've ever had a roast pheasant before. But if I was going to have one, today would be the day to have it.
You did it.
It would be the day to have it.
Agreed.
It is National Roast Pheasant Day, National Grouch Day. So
I think I came across a couple of those today.
Yes. I think people celebrate that every day.
Yeah, I think they were officially
Honestly.
celebrating correctly.
Let's see, everybody. Hey, Carmen. Hey, Teresa. John Sullivan's in the house. Michael Brooks. Lost Souls PI. We're having them on pretty soon.
Yay.
Yeah. Carmen, Teresa, welcome to the show.
Well, everybody's coming in. Thank you.
We have a good show tonight.
Yeah, we do.
Yes,
we party when Holly's around.
Yes, it is. It was going to be a spiritual round table. Now it's just going to be a spiritual triangle. It'll be a spiritual threesome.
There we go. There we go.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. So, What do the cards say tonight?
All right, let me give these a quick shuffle. I actually was like just trying to get on, and I was like, I didn't even. So I grabbed the first deck. So this is the funny deck, just because it's the first one I could get my hands on. And usually I'm shuffling before we hop on, because I was a slacker. I was over there watching Courtney and Sean, and I got lost track of time.
Oh, you went out. We went to the Hill City Paranormal.
Yeah, I was watching there live, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have like 5 minutes."
Your podcast is amazing. They come on right before we do, and they'll be coming on with us on the 29th of October. So mark it on your calendars.
Yes. All right.
For a very freaky Halloween special.
So we got 2 cards because I pulled one and then one fell out on the floor. So the first one is, have you eaten? You're acting like a big ass baby. You need food in your belly. Eat a fucking taco. Or a roasted pheasant.
Yes, or roast pheasant. Yes.
Yeah, whatever your liking is. And the one that fell out that says, you're going through some tough stuff. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Gather your tired ass up and handle it.
There you go.
There you go.
Put your bitching.
Yep.
And get your shit done.
Everybody goes through it. You handle yours, and eat some food, because maybe you need a Snickers.
Yes, as I can say, it reminds
me of it's a grouchy day.
I mean, yeah, exactly. This is your day to be grouchy. Forget the Snickers. Be a grouch. Live in a trash can. Eat some roast pheasant.
Yeah, or a taco.
Tacos. It's also the National Wash Your Hands Day. So when you're done eating your roast pheasant, wash your hands any other day but today.
Yep.
Celebrate. I celebrated today earlier. I washed my hands. I didn't know I was celebrating a holiday, but apparently I got in the Wash Your Hands Day spirit and decided to wash my hands today. So I'm sure a lot of people celebrate. I hope a lot of people celebrate today. What's up, Mark and Sean? We have a lot of cool
Nathan,
cool people.
Cars. Mark says, "How about JD? Have her on as a guest again." Ryan and I were working on some guests for next year, so maybe we should have Jade
back on the show again.
Let's do it.
He was a host on the network for a while.
Yeah, let's do it.
Have her back on.
Yeah.
Talk about the Hinsdale house. That would be fun. So usually I'll go down the rabbit hole. We'll talk about curse words. But tonight we're doing something different. Mostly because I'm running out of curse words. I probably have a few I've repeated. Because I was looking at it, I'm like, did I use this one before? I didn't feel like going through every one of my pages here and see which one I've used before. So I looked up. I'm gonna bring my our friend Holly onto the show here. Welcome.
Hey guys.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you all?
Doing good.
Great.
Good. It's totally cold.
I got my heater on under my desk right now.
I've got my warm tea here. I am freezing.
Yeah, it's cold.
Thought about putting my heater on next to me as well, but I'm hoping this tea will keep me warm. If not, I'll go get the heater. So I looked up what October means spiritually, according to the internet. So and it says October invites individuals to connect with the changing seasons and explore the mystic aspects of life. It's a reminder of this cyclical nature, if I can talk, of existence and the significance of both life and death in our spiritual journey. What do you guys think of that?
I see that.
Absolutely, because we're going. If you think about the trees and the leaves are dying, right? The trees are getting ready to go into hibernation, and so are we spiritually. So it's like a time for us to reflect. It's a time for us to take that time to nurture ourselves. So it makes total sense.
Yeah, I think so too, because it's kind of like the time where you've harvested everything. So you've done your harvesting, everything's dying off. It's the time kind of where you start reflecting on changes you want to make and what went well and what didn't, because then we go into like the Thanksgiving, Christmas, winter season, which is when we're supposed to be resting and doing things to get the seeds ready to plant in the spring. So like taking classes or doing whatever it is you need to nurture yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's a time of reflection, and I call it the comfy season or the cozy season, where you just kind of stay in your own bubble. You know, you're not in the summertime, you're always like going doing stuff all the time. In the fall, you're still doing stuff, but you're starting to slow down and you're starting to just reflect on the year that's passed.
Yep.
You know,
you're also kind of reflecting too, which kind of goes along with, as they talk about spiritually, with the veil thinning and your ancestors and everything being closer. Because if you're reflecting, a lot of times you're thinking about loved ones that have passed and your ancestors and that kind of thing. So it kind of falls in line with what, you know, Halloween and Samhain and all of that's really about.
Yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia there. There's also like seasonal depression there. But, you know, guys, I want to say this because it happens to us all. It's happened to me. It happened to me for a long time. And then I started realizing, why am I fighting the cycles? Why am I fighting the seasons? We have seasons for a reason. And so if you look on the outside and apply that to our inside on our soul purpose, our soul healing, it makes perfect sense then. So, you know, it's like we're actually supposed to take that time where a lot of us ADD and ADHDers do not want to sit still, and it's hard for us to do so. So by doing that, being stuck in the house or hermited, when we really want to be going, and we're forced to sit with ourselves. It's like when COVID hit, it forced us to sit with ourselves because we all had to sit in the house, had to deal with shitty relationships, had to deal with shitty behavior of ourselves because had to deal with fears. So, you know, just think of it like it's all a mindset. You can either sit inside the whole winter and be miserable, or you can take that time to understand why you feel miserable, because most of the time there's always a underlying thing that you need to address in that season. So yeah, it's changing the mindset and how you view it.
Yeah, it's tough because like when I was sick a couple of weeks ago, and I knew I had to rest.
Yes.
But all I wanted to do is get up and do things, because I'm like, if I sit here and do nothing, I'm just going to be reminded that I'm sick.
Yes.
So I do stuff to take my mind off stuff. That's why I guess what people do when they have this seasonal depression. They'd be like, oh, I've got to keep going, because if I stop, I'm just going to keep thinking about it.
Absolutely. That's why I always say routine is important. Routine is so important every day, just not through the winter time and through the times where we're like, oh, I hate the cold. But like, what if you like, instead of saying you hate it, say, let's embrace it. And that's what happened with me. That's how I learned to roll with the seasons, because I understood. I started to understand that this was more than, guys, we're connected to the earth. We're connected to everything. So what's happening outside of us is happening inside of us in some level. So again, it's like changing that mindset and changing the way you do things instead of being stuck in old cycles. Move that stagnant energy out. So when we get up to wintertime and when we get up to going into a new year, we all make these New Year's resolutions, right? So that goes along with it as well. That is our time. Like Rhonda said, we're planting seeds. Them are new seeds that we're planting for ourselves in the next year. So a lot of us end up nurturing for a little while, and then we kind of like give up on that because it's not instant results. So you're not sticking with your mindset, and instead you're giving up. And that's with anything you're trying to manifest in your life, though. That absolutely, that mindset will make you or break you.
Cold. Teresa says colder weather, don't get to ground as much. I mean, you don't get to go. I mean, you can still go outside. You might not want to stay out there for very long, but if you go ahead.
You can't stay out there long, but sorry to interrupt you, but I was listening to a podcast last night, and they were talking about the grounding sheets and the grounding mats that have they have like silver in them, but they're still supposedly soft, but you can plug them in, and they plug in, but they plug into just the ground part of an electrical outlet so that you can get grounding like when you're sleeping and things like that. So that's a thought. I never really thought about that, but I understand how it would work good for, like, if you live in a big city, you've got concrete. So at least it's a way to ground some way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also too, I always tell people, and I teach people about the tree method, and no matter where you are at, that energy is still, that is a grounder. So I always tell people use the tree method. Like, just as long as your feet are planted on the ground somewhere, even if it's in your house, your vision of them tree roots penetrating Mother Earth, that goes through no matter where you're at, it's still going to ground you. So, keep that in mind, guys, when you're talking about grounding and earthing. Earthing, of course, is great. I love being out in nature, and I love to, embrace it. But in other ways, there's other ways to ground than just going out and earthing. So that's another one, like a good helpful tip for everybody going through the winter.
Yeah.
But you can touch the ground like with your hands and it still be grounding because your body is actually touching the ground. It doesn't have to be your feet, does it?
Not necessarily. I think for me personally, I know like my grounding is I pull energy down. So I pull from my crown chakra, I push down throughout my feet because that's the way that I convert energy. So for me personally, grounding and connecting to my roots Mother Earth, which is all healing, I'm taking that energy from here and pushing it down, giving it to Mother Earth. So you're cleansing yourself. You are cleansing your own energy when you do that.
Yep.
So Teresa is in Canada. So I'm reckoning it's going to be cold for a while up there. If she did that and put her hands on the ground, that would still work for a temporary thing.
I mean, it would. Yeah, absolutely. Just think of it instead of like, this is where we've kind of got a disconnection from our spiritual selves and the methods that we physically use. And because if we don't have something physically attached to it, a lot of us can't have that vision. So that's where the imagination comes in. The imagination is everything when it comes to being spiritual and connecting and grounding and everything else, because no matter what you have access to, you could be in a prison cell and still ground yourself and still center yourself and still, bring that energy into yourself. But it's all about the vision. And that goes past the physical body. It goes past the physical earth of the things that you can hear, can't hear, see, touch, in them senses of the physical realm. But it's good to still keep that imagination. That is very, very important for you when you when you consider yourself empathic, when you consider yourself psychic, which we all are empathic, and we all should be grounding. We all should be shielding ourselves and protecting ourselves. But yeah, it's easy to do, even outside of the physical. Now, I know we have crystals. Crystals are good for grounding. Crystals for me was big on my journey when I first started. Huge, because for me, it helped me to know that I was putting power into that. So power is intent. That guys, like, that intent of power is everything, whatever you put behind it. So just keep in mind, like, there's always different ways of doing things.
Yep.
So belief is key.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of stuff. It reminds me of what we were talking about, God, back in the day when I was on my spiritual journey, and I was listening to guided meditations, and I'm like, they're telling me to blow a big balloon up in my stomach. I don't see a big balloon. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's different ways, and it's all about how you can envision it, what works for you, because some people may be able to do things better through just sound instead of someone saying, hey, envision this bubble here or there, whatever. It's just if you know your basics, if you know where your energy points are, everybody is more than capable of clearing their own chakras, aligning them and centering them. We have never been taught this. So we rely on people who do know to teach us. But the thing about it is there's many ways to do that. And it doesn't matter what any way works except for what works for you. Yeah. So that's the important part. And so you find your way. You find your way of grounding. You find your way of meditation, because meditation is important. If we didn't have meditation, man, like, I couldn't imagine, because all of the great inventors and philosophers and prophets and people who have ascended spiritually have all used meditation as a tool. So, you have like people like Tesla, people like Einstein. Where do you think all their ideas and dreams, things come from? That is all through meditation. So that is a big portal of information that you could go through meditation. Everybody, I don't care who you are, can meditate. I was one of those people that didn't think I could meditate either, because I'm a triple air sign, guys. So if I can meditate, anybody can freaking meditate. But it's important. It is so, so important. And no, you don't have to be like monks. You don't have to be in meditation all day, every day, but every day to be more mindful, because what it does is brings your attention and your energy back to yourself. And that's what we lack in this world. Individually, we all do. I'm guilty of doing it too. Like I find myself losing it, and I'm like, oh, no, we're going to pull ourselves back in, because we're not going to get caught up in that. Because we, out of all the things that we have ever went and explored in this world, the least explored is within our consciousness, because it is not taught. It is not real. It is, it's not scientifically
pseudoscience.
Yes. So this is the thing. You got to change the mindset. You change your mindset and the way of thinking. Things become a lot clearer in different ways. So, it's like I said, like with painting, who are we to say what an artist is? Everybody individually is so unique as humans, and what we consider artistic, is not perfection,
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, it's all in a matter of opinion. I'll walk into the art museum and there'll be like a black dot on a white canvas or something like that. And people call it art. It's their opinions, what they see, but it's all interpretation of the art. I see a black dot. Another person will see, oh, I see this, I see that.
Right.
But it's how you see it, how you view the world.
Absolutely.
Especially with abstract art, I find a lot of times there's certain colors at times that I'm drawn to. And like, I can't even tell you, I could be somewhere where they've got, a vendor has art. I can't tell you why I like that particular picture, because it's of nothing, but I'm just drawn to it. And I just enjoy it for no apparent reason.
I know. Well, listen, when we do art, when we put even, singers, whatever kind of artist it is, they put their energy into their work. So it could be like that dot that Ryan was talking about. That dot has a lot of energy behind it because of the artist that did it. And so I feel like when I started seeing it that way, because before I was kind of like closed-minded. I was really closed-minded. I'm from the mountains, of course. We're like, well, that's not art. If I could do that, it's like that mentality is like, is that what you call art? So I changed my mindset on that, and music a lot. Like music's always been big in my life. It's been my energy portal of tones and frequencies. And then it played a bigger part later on in my spiritual path. But the art, that I started getting called to doing things that definitely was out of my element, and I never thought I would be able to do. So, and each one of us channels art or that type of art differently, and the energy that we use while doing that makes a big difference. So I agree with you on that, Rhonda. I'm drawn to different things that I'm like, well, like what makes me so drawn to it? But then you start looking and you find things like hidden within that art that even the artist may not even know that you do, that you see, that
you're just, like, I just feel like if I'm drawn to it, I'm supposed to have it for some reason.
Yeah.
It's serving some purpose for me.
Yeah, exactly. It calls to you.
Is that connection that you have? And, that's why we started doing the show, is just the connection with people, connecting people through the paranormal and spiritual and all that stuff, and helping people by, teaching them or telling our experiences so they can learn from what we've been through.
Yeah, it's important. Like, why wouldn't we? Like, after all my years of being in the paranormal and being on this spiritual path, it's like, that's all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted was to meet other people like myself and be able to teach, to be able to learn, to be able, that's what this is about. This is all about more than just a field. It's about something bigger, and it's about you, and it's about your journey and your connection with spirit, God, whoever that you may look upon, but journey to yourself,
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is a much different conversation than we were having 10 years ago talking about Woodburger facials.
Okay.
Facials. What?
Oh my God. So he sent me this video and I was like, oh my God, that was 10 years ago, y'all.
10 years ago.
Damn years ago. That me and Ryan, I swear. Yeah, wood booger facials. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Just don't act like
we're going off the deep end here.
Do it.
We're going to the dark fem side, okay? It's Libra, like it's that what is it? The Libra, Aries, Capricorn.
Yeah.
All the cardinal signs right now are in their 16 year of ending karmic cycles. I'm in my dark fem side now. So here we go. So the wood booger facial got started because we was talking about Bigfoot. And about that same time, Finding Bigfoot had came to our area and they done a show on Bigfoot. And so they named it there in a different county that was like adjacent from ours, had called it the wood booger. And I was like, I don't know I've never heard that in my life. Like we've always said Bigfoot, so I've never heard that. And so it became a thing and people were like you might want to look at the urban term of wood booger. And so the urban term of wood booger is dry jizz. And so initially we had a kick with it, of course, Dennis, Ron, me, and it became thing. It became a meme, and I was like, "You got to have a wood booger facial," because I was like, they made a big deal, and we have a restaurant now. We have shirts. We have people with tags with wood booger on their vehicle. We have, it's like wood booger. I'm like, okay, so that's how that got started, and the show back then, I mean, I started out serious, but then it just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Just like, this is who I am. This is who I am. I bet you're going to get very serious spiritual Holly, but then on the other hand, you're going to get dirty and that's it. That's who I am. So, the show would get serious and then we'll get dirty. The serious and get dirty.
It was a good balance.
It was.
Back and forth. Our birthday shows, though, those were never serious.
Oh my God, they were chaotic. They were so chaotic. Like nobody could ever to stay on task because back then we didn't have anything like StreamYard.
No, it was always on Blog Talk.
It was Blog Talk. Everybody called in, and everybody was talking over each other. So
it was tough to really stay focused. I mean, if we had a guest on, we would talk and let them talk, whatever.
Oh yeah.
But when we had these group shows, like it was just
free for all.
Bother trying to
but what's more insane, I have to say this, over the years of us, doing our thing together, I can say, I don't know, I maybe could count on maybe one hand of some interesting guests that we had on our shows, and it just was like, is this real life?
Yeah.
This just happened, like very off the wall guest, and it just makes you wonder, like, this is why people make fun of people like us. This is like, you are the reason. You are totally the reason they think we're crazy.
Exactly.
Yep, for sure.
We give them a platform, and what they do with
it.
Oh my God.
No. When we have to cut the show off in the middle of it, no, it's there's some very out there people. There's some very out there people, bless their hearts. But they don't have discernment. Bless their hearts, because they don't have discernment of reality. And and I know that's a very thin line to say reality, because on the reality that I participate in depends upon what kind of shit show is being shown. But you end up having interesting guests. So I guess by now, Rhonda, as well.
yeah. Anybody we had to cut off yet, but we've had a couple that it was the longest hour of my life.
Yes.
Ryan and I message each other going, because usually, sometimes a guest, one of us will get with, understand a little bit more than the other, and so the other one, that one just takes the lead. Yes. We get one that neither one of us are like, what?
No,
what do you do?
I'm okay. So I'm a very loving, happy, laid back person. But when my patients get tested with a guest that we're trying to give a platform to, oh Lord,
Yeah.
oh,
Right,
Carmen
like,
was
right, it's like, I don't know what to ask yet. And I was like, I don't even know what we're talking about.
there you go. It's like, whoa.
I don't know what we're doing.
Whoa.
Carmen's asking, how do you feel about spiritual psychosis?
Oh God. So that
That's
goes right along
you
with
guys' question.
yeah, well, see, that's what we were kind of dealing with on our show with that
Mhm.
person that we had that was insane.
Oh, the one in Arizona?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
did.
yeah.
That was wild, guys. And when I say this,
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
like she was like crazy. Okay. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah, that was a 2-hour show too.
It was a
So
2-hour show.
like,
It was a 2-hour show. So spiritual psychosis is a lot of people will dub people like us and say we are under psychosis, that we have hallucinations, that we have a reality that we have created because we are trying to disconnect from the real reality, which who wouldn't at this point? It's a shit show. But so the whole thing with the psychosis is some people believe that we are in psychosis. I'm going to tell you guys, they are definitely some people who are in psychosis, and it's not a healthy psychosis. Okay. It's an unhealthy psychosis where you have someone saying that their husband is their reincarnated Jesse James outlaw. I don't know, some shit, like there's a lot of people who really hang on to that. But in reality, what it is, it's someone who is very broken. It is someone who hangs on to identities and attention. So when they start getting attention, they become whoever they need to be, and they'll say whatever they need to say. So the deeper you get in spiritually, you'll hear the word, that spiritual psychosis word, a lot, because I know for me, I channel higher beings, I channel messages. It can be easily seen by outsiders as being schizophrenic, hallucinating. A lot of the things that we talk about, if you had somebody come out here on the outside world that's not connected at all and is just cut off from this world, they would absolutely say that, it was spiritual psychosis. Whatever they needed to be, I don't really care. What I care about most is on my journey, as I have questioned my sanity, I don't know how many times. And you do. And if you don't, and then you're out here spilling shit like my husband is my cousin reincarnated and he's Jesse James or some shit, that's a discernment. We need to have discernment there, people. Okay. That's like, okay, that's too much. So yeah, that's what spiritual psychosis is. It's just, initially it's people who are not grounded in this reality. I guess they're in their own little realities.
Is there a danger of sorry, Rhonda? Is there a
No,
danger of getting too deep into the like kind of losing yourself if you don't keep yourself in check as far as like what you experience spiritually?
Absolutely, because some people can't discern the difference. There's people that ain't ready for that information. I always say it's like Indiana Jones at the Crystal Skull when he sits there and he wants all this information. Because let me tell you, from an aspect of healing, this is not just like rainbows and Skittles. Oh, I've got a gift, and like that's it. Now I'm going to like live off my identity of me having this gift. That's not how it works. How it works is you work on yourself and then the universe blesses you. You work on yourself, the universe blesses you. You heal your trauma, you heal your bullshit, the universe blesses you. Yes, absolutely. Because you are putting in the work, because you are actually clearing your energy field. You are clearing your body. You are clearing your ancestral traumas. You are clearing societal traumas to allow yourself to discern what is good, what is bad, what am I doing that is I need to fix. Okay. So that is huge. That's where I stand on that.
Do you think, because this is the first time I've actually heard the term and heard your definition of it, so do you think that some of these ones that are, so it seems like you've got two aspects of it. One is just really like what someone that has abilities may be looked at by someone on the outside that doesn't. Right. But it also in turn, the second portion is it can be somebody with abilities that's just gone off the deep end.
Right. And it's like, it's Alice in Wonderland. It's Alice in Wonderland. It's all these stories that you see of people who went down the rabbit hole. If you're not ready for what you're about to see, because you get opened up to a lot of information and it can drive you insane. You can go down a rabbit hole and never come back from it. And I've seen it. And I have worked with people who are in older generations who have been put in mental psych wards because they have been dubbed schizophrenic. But the truth and reality of it is my discernment of them and me being able to tap into who they really truly are. These people weren't crazy at all. The people that I've met, now I know what crazy is. I know what, dysfunction or whatever, people need to deal with. Yes, I see that. But I also see people who have been dubbed crazy and they would have been called a psychosis when there truly was gifted. And this world never understood that at that time. People back then would have just been put in psych wards. Then you just keep your mouth shut. That's the reason that we're in, like now you see so many people. It's like, yes, I'm a witch. Yes, I'm a psychic. We're so loud and proud because we were so suppressed. It wasn't okay to say, I see dead people. I hear noises. I speak to angels. It was okay to say you was speaking with angels as long as it was in the church. But, if you were outside of it and you say, when I would speak to aliens or I speak to this or that. So that's a lot. It's a lot to have to discern from someone who has never had an experience to someone who has, and try to understand the in-betweens of that. But people drive themselves insane trying to chase something as well. So it's like I was saying before, and I think I ended abruptly, but because I got sidetracked down a rabbit hole. But you can go so deep and not work on what you're experiencing. You just get lost in what you're experiencing. You have to be able to see, okay, this is a way for me to get lost. This is a way for me to not come back from this, because it truly, you can go there, and I've witnessed it. I've seen so many people go there, and it depends on your life, your traumas. Some people get caught up in the glitz and glamours of wanting to be a psychic and wanting to be known or just be in the spotlight or get a show or whatever it is, and I've seen it. I have seen it with my own eyes. I've been a part of it. I've been a part of people who are like that, and it's not that they're bad people. It's just that they have something within them that needs to be healed, but they're not wanting to address that part of them. So they get lost in it, and it will eat you. It will eat you alive. That's why you have so many dark people who get involved. And you see like the whole dark and light thing. Guys, there's dark and light, but there's also the in-between, which is a good centered part of gray. Right. And we have people who are just don't want to look at themselves and don't want to have to acknowledge the bad that they're doing. And so that just takes them down that rabbit hole too. It puts them in that same psychosis. If you're not having a balance, then that's why we have balance first and foremost, is to bring it back to the center, to understand, to discern. This is something that you have to really trust spirit onto. That's like trusting yourself, trusting what spirit is showing you, trusting your experiences that you're having. And you know what helps with that more than anything, guys, is having other people who's been through the same thing. Mm-hmm. So, you can find yourself very lost.
It's funny you say that. I had a mentor once, and we were in a class, and it was when I was first starting, and we were, working on meditation. And I remember we had a course, and then we came back a few weeks later, and she was like, "How's meditating going?" And there was one lady in the class who was like, "I absolutely love it. I'm meditating an hour a day. I'm talking to my guides and my loved ones, and it's just such a peaceful place, and I just love it." And she was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. One, meditating, whether you believe it or not, is hard on your body. Yes. If you're doing it to that extreme." And she said, it's very easy when you start going in for that amount of time to lose yourself.
Yes.
Because you find that's where you lose track of reality, because that's where you want to be.
Yes, exactly. See, you ain't working. You want to be there. So you're projecting yourself there. You're putting yourself in these situations you cannot handle. And I've seen it. Like I have seen it so many times. I've had people who I can see that they're going through, they're just attracting a bad lifestyle through how they're being. Okay. And we all do it. Okay. We all do it in some way, shape, or form. And we all have done it, but you'll see people, and they'll blame like demons. They'll blame outside paranormal things or spiritual things. You know, this is what this is doing to me, but they don't want to acknowledge what they're doing actually to attract that. And that's what you see a lot. And this is even in the paranormal. After years of investigating and me doing residential cases mainly, that's what I took from it. I was like, these people are being this conduit of energy for whether we're pulling in negative or positive. And what you're pulling in is you're creating a energy from your bad energy. You know, you have people who are suffering from traumas who don't even know what trauma is, who don't even think that it's an actual thing to even be concerned about. Because when you talk about trauma, people expect you to be, you know, it has to be something physically traumatic. Let me tell you, you cannot compare anybody's trauma to anybody else's. That is not okay. And that's the problem. That's because I know for me, I was brought up in a family where you just don't talk about your problems. It never happened. And if we argue, we don't talk about it the next day. We just act like it never happened. That's not okay. It creates a trauma within communication in your family. So it continues on. You don't feel safe around your family truly. Guys, so healing and really working and receiving these gifts in return is a lot of clearing out of energy of old in your karmic cycles. That's what people are not getting. They're just seeing the glitz and glamour of seeing things, being in the limelight. And, you know, look at me, I'm a psychic.
Yeah.
Well, look at me, my life's been hell. Look at me, my life's been hell. You know why? Because I chose me. Because I chose to say no. I chose to change my life. I'd much rather hear someone say that than, oh, well, you know, tell me who you truly are.
Right.
Not the bullshit that you're faking or putting on a mask
Right.
for.
That's how I always feel. I feel like somebody's pushing out to me too much that I'm a psychic. Look at me. I'm a psychic, or I'm a medium. I'm like, eek.
Yeah. I'm like, back it up, Terry. Back it up, Terry.
I've got a friend who's been dealing with stuff. Her dad passed away, and her mom's not doing too well. And she lives in her house with her mom, and she's experiencing a lot of stuff happening in the house lately. And she's been coming out to the cabin with us, and I think she may be opening herself up more spiritually by coming out and investigating with us and stuff. But she's also dealing with it at home. What advice would you give to her in this journey that she's on, as far as protection and how to deal with what she's going through?
I would personally say lean into it. You got to lean into it. If you're scared of it, then that's good too, because you need to overcome the fear of it. Emotionally, when you are already in a state of mind and you go into a location like the cabin, and I know because I don't know what 3 times I've been in there with doing an event, and people have been pulled out because they come in very emotional. You come in with, like, you know, you're going through things in your life, so your emotions are high. When our emotions are high, we are more connected to that part of ourselves, so it makes us more vulnerable. That isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing if you realize that, and if you can take that and control it, because you can control it. So my advice to you is to ground yourself and to protect yourself. Protection can be done in many ways, and that is through your belief system, whether you're whatever you believe in. For me, I choose to shield myself, and I choose to just, you know, step into my badassery. And you have to have that attitude of nothing can affect me, but lean into it. You're not having those experiences for nothing. And I know it's scary, because when I first started having experiences, it was scary for me, and it was scary for years after, when I had to face things, and when I would never ever dissuade anybody to turn away from a gift, because when you start awakening, let me tell you, it's not just about the things that you're seeing and experiencing. It's the things that the universe and spirit is trying to tell you. So pay attention to the messages behind everything that's happening in your life, if that's, you know, if you're having this going on, because, you know, usually when that storm comes in and all the paranormal things start to happen and you start to hear more, you start to see things, it's because this has been a catalyst for your awakening. So lean into it. I say lean all the way into it.
Yeah, I think she's got she has gifts, but like I said, this is she's just beginning her spiritual journey, and she's dealing with a lot at home, and I think her emotions of what she's dealing with may be prompting spirits to come to
Absolutely.
her.
Absolutely. I mean, that's like, if you think of that, like I said, it's that emotional state. That emotional state that brings down your protection instantly. Your shielding's down instantly. It's maybe still up, but it's not 100%. This is why we see so many people who go into haunted locations, just and they usually are the ones that get picked on, or they get more activity than most other people around them. It's because they're more vulnerable. And so with that emotional vulnerability, you have to be careful with it, but also know that you are in control. And that's the biggest thing, is not to have fear, because there's nothing there that can harm you unless you allow that to harm you in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, definitely. The awakening, knowing you have a gift, and the awakening, and then the healing process, it is all a big process. And it's not easy. It is so not easy. And that's one thing that I tell people over and over again. And when they tell me, when someone tells me that they are on their spiritual path, I always listen for what they're telling me. I always listen to how they speak, because it tells me where they're at on their journey. We are all in different spaces on our journey, and that's okay. Nobody is above or below anybody. We're all learning. We're all growing. And that's something that I've always preached, and I always, for myself even, I said I've always been a teacher and a student and a master of neither. And that's the best thing that you can ever do, is keep yourself open for learning, and open to new things, and open to yourself. Because when I was more open to myself, and I started to be more considerate of myself and my feelings, and to be more confident in myself, to overcome doubt and fear of myself and what other people thought. So just think of the things that you're being taught besides these experiences, because it has everything to do with your overall spiritual path if you continue to go on that path. Because again, it's not easy, because when you start down that path, you start getting rid of things in your life. Spirit is going to have you break down every aspect of yourself and heal it, and around you, including your family, relationships, everything, your job, whatever it is. So it goes way deeper than that.
Yeah, and it's cyclical. I think that's what was hard for me to realize, is it's tough.
Yeah.
And you hurt from some of the things you've got to let go. And then you come out and you start getting that confidence, like you were just saying. And then it can be just like shot down again. And you've got to start building it. Like you can think, oh my God, I've got my confidence. All of a sudden it's like, oh, where did it go?
Yes, exactly.
Again.
Exactly. Then this is the thing. This goes back to the beginning where we was talking about seasonal depression. This is the same mentality, okay? It's because it's a cycle. And this is the thing. As long as you're a trying person, that makes you someone who is still on your healing path. It doesn't matter. If you go and revisit a lesson, it doesn't make you less than. Like, oh, I'm not getting it. No, you're getting it because you're being aware. Being aware of it is number one. And sometimes it's just like Rain Man walking around. And me, I'm like, man, it took me years. There's people that I've sat with who've got it within 2 hours. I'm not talking people who wasn't like very spiritually inclined before. 2 hours of sitting talking with them, they'll get these massive downloads, and they get it. And I'm like, wow, I'm so jealous, because I didn't get it like that. Nope. It took me years. It took me years of hard knocks. It took me years of lessons and reliving them lessons over and over and over, because my ass didn't, was like, oh, but let me try it again. Let me do it again. Let's see if it's any better next time. What I did learn is I learned how that it all come from me and my confidence and my overcoming, and what I allowed and what I wouldn't allow anymore, and the fear of that. Because you change your life, it really changes. When you choose your spiritual path, you choose yourself, and choosing yourself is not easy. It's not easy.
Nope.
That's the hardest part, is believing in yourself, and believing in your abilities, and believing that you're not crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I still think I'm crazy sometimes.
I mean, we're all crazy.
Yeah, we are.
Different kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why it's good to have friends like Holly, I can go, the weirdest thing just happened. I'm not crazy, but I want to tell somebody about it. It won't
Yeah.
be crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, no matter how many times that I have been or had experiences recently, I'll tell you guys this one. I've been having some different experiences, and aw, you're welcome, Elizabeth. So I've been having different experiences than usual. So for anybody who's on here and don't know me, I do a whole slew of different things. Okay. But let me tell you, it's not been easy. It's been like, I didn't like get up one day and say, ooh, I want to be a dream walker. Ooh, I want to be this or that. It just happened and I embraced it and I leaned into it. So recently this has got me because I'm driving down the road. I'm sitting on the shitter and this stuff happened. Okay. It's so not, and this is the waking state. It's not the dream state. It's not my meditation state. This is me like doing normal shit throughout the day, like taking a shit, or driving. Okay, yeah, exactly. So I'm driving and I start getting visions. And it's visions of like things that it's so weird to explain because I'm still trying to understand what's happening to me. And I understand, but I don't understand. So this is the newest, but I've been getting these weird visions. So I was driving and I got this weird vision and it was like them Raven moments, but it was more extreme than that. And so the whole day I was just like dissuade. I was like, I don't know. I was out of it. And then I was sitting on the toilet and it happened. And I was like, damn, like, you know, what is this? And it's the weirdest thing because when I get them, it's like I'm shown either alternate universes and how things are lining up or how they're supposed to be or how they will be. And I don't know yet because it hasn't happened. So there's that.
Yeah, well, and it's all ever changing. It must be this time of year because I had something very similar but different, probably not as deep, but you know, I've always just kind of heard and known things. Like I hear and I know.
Yes.
We were in Salem and we were going through the Memorial Park and I'd already kind of like prepared myself that this could be emotional just because you're going to feel or hear or whatever. Oh no. As I'm walking through and they're seeing the little memorials for each person, like as you walk through it, all of a sudden I saw a scene play out in my head like a movie.
Yep.
Like a movie.
Yes.
And I was seeing and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
It's never played like that for me ever.
Yeah. See,
ever.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. It doesn't like just because like you see, like for me, I started hearing too. This is the first thing that started happening to me is I started having them out of body experiences. And then when I got into the paranormal, I started honing in more and didn't even know it. Started hearing. So I was very clairaudient. All of my experiences that I was having was out of body experiences and clairaudient experiences. So I was hearing those things. I thought that was it. And actually at first I was like, I'm not any different than anybody else until other things started happening. So it started to progress. And I think that's a beautiful part about it because Rhonda, I know that you've been on your healing journey and I just love you. And I have watched you and I know you have watched me and my progression and we support each other, empowering each other. But it's beautiful because, you know, the more that you face yourself, the more that you dive deeper within yourself, these things progress more. You have more knowledge, you're more connected. So that means your abilities become more tuned in, very fine tuned in. By the way, I think it's awesome that you were up to Salem. My 10th great grandmother was Rebecca Nurse. She was one of the witches that were.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we were quick there, but it was that particular, it just hit me. And I was already kind of emotional because of just the feeling of things. But then I got emotional because like, this has never happened. Why is this? My first thing I go to, why is this suddenly happening? Why am I suddenly seeing things like this? Is everything going to be like this? You start going down that rabbit hole and like, you know, maybe it'll pop up again. I don't know. It was just so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Yes.
And it's because I think it was because I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't trying to be tuned in. I wasn't trying to be tapped in. It just happened.
Yes. Yep. That's when it happens.
Does the time of year matter as far as like being, because, you know, October, the veil's thinning. Does that make it more easy for you to connect to the spiritual world compared to like January or February or places any other time of year? Does it really matter? Or if you're connected, you're connected? Does it really matter what time of year it is?
I think for me, personally, I think the idea of this time of the year, and because the veil is thinning. However, just like we talked about earlier, you talk about nostalgia, and it puts a lot of energy behind the nostalgia because we're talking about past loved ones. We're missing people. You're having a lot of thought forms, right? Well, what people don't realize is thought forms turn into energy. That is a thing that we create, and everybody around us pulls in energy from our loved ones who have passed. We pull in energy from whatever it may be, and we are all experiencing that. This is the same thing for any kind of like huge say the recent hurricane, and the events that are unfolding around it. We all get really connected to it, so we all start feeling it. The people who are more empathic, the people who are more psychic or more in tune, we are going to feel that more intensely. So it's not necessarily about, for me, the time of the year. It's about the energy. So whatever's happening, I know for me, the last, I don't know, month has been crazy, because I have been super, super connected. When I say I'm empathic, I'm overly empathic, and it affects me, because the more that you connect, the more that you really connect, and you start to feel things, and your empathy level is so overload that it affects you. I mean, you have to realize that you do have to step back from the energy. So yeah, absolutely. I think this time of the year is nostalgic. It's a lot more energy is put towards this time of the year because we are, in that mindset of sitting around and being, again, like calling upon our loved ones, thinking about them more, especially mediumship. You find that a lot.
Yep.
So Carmen wants to know, how about spiritual attacks as you grow? Is this a true thing? I guess grow spiritually, or I guess, well, not grow older, but spiritually grow.
Well, I mean, so my opinion of that is yes and no. Because it's almost like, okay, spiritual attacks, as far as like, for me, I see spiritual attacks as in different levels. I've never been attacked from the other side, like that, but spiritually attacked from people, yeah, absolutely. I've been spiritually attacked by people my whole life because I've been different, and the more that I become in tune, the more that people would attack me because of my light. They wouldn't even know why. People, I mean, I'm just like I've always said, I'm Rain Man. I'm out here smelling roses and sniffing shit, and people, will find something wrong that I'm doing. It's because you irritate people's demons. That's it. It's true.
Yeah.
You walk into a room and I can sense everybody's energy, and I can tell the people that don't like me, but simply because, they couldn't give me a good reason why they didn't like me. But yeah, absolutely. The attacks get worse. And then family, it happens from family, because the more that you become yourself, the more your family loses control over who they thought that you were. But it was always a mask, it's always a mask. So yeah. And there's levels of that. There's so many levels of that. But the more that you start to realize that the emotions that you attach to those people or those things, then you let go of it. You don't let it affect you as much, because you realize that some people are just are never going to see it from your perspective. Mm-hmm. They're not going to feel it from your perspective. And that's okay. I have been part of the modern day Salem witch hunts a lot. And it's just by me being in the presence of around people. With my healing energy, because I will not tolerate things that other people will. And by any means, I'm not a mean person, and I would never step outside of my bounds, but I do protect people. And my energy, when you're around my energy, I don't put up with bullshit no more. Before I did. So, it's just your energy, your spiritual energy, what you will put up with and what you will move away from.
There's only so much you can take. And I've never seen you get angry, but I would assume, like, I wouldn't want to see, like, the Hulk, You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Listen, when I get angry, it's a whole different, I usually just like my tongue becomes the lashing, and it's the truth. It is the truth, and that's what people don't like. And I've been called confrontational before. I don't know how many times, and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. It's just because you just don't want to hear the truth, and I say the truth, and I don't lie. I could never lie. I've never lied. I've never been able to tolerate liars. I'm very good at detecting them. And yeah, there's times in my life that I went along with people just so they could stroke their own egos, but I don't do that anymore. I don't let people away with injustice. I'm a Libra through and through. Like, I do not like injustice done to people or myself, and I've allowed it for a long time, but not anymore. But for a long time, people have just out of the blue, like, that's it. They turn on me, they attack me, they find things wrong with me. For instance, I was very close to a child, and the grandmother saw me as a threat because I was a witch, and it was a sad situation because the little boy did not deserve that, because he was someone who was different. He had ADHD, and his family didn't know how to understand him, so they mistreated him. And I don't do well with mistreating, and I don't do well at all when it comes to children and people with disabilities. I mean, I've always been that way. And like, whatever, if you need to call me whatever you need to call me, honey, just keep on going, because this is a truth teller, and I don't lie. And whatever people need to have wrong with me, they can have wrong with me in their heads, because I'm over here just smoking a joint being happy.
So that's what you gotta do. Howie was saying that be careful of what you send out, because what you send out will come back to you.
Absolutely.
And the consequences to your actions. Elizabeth said, I am finding out becoming much more sensitive to others' negative to energies, and I just can't tolerate negative energy. Physically makes me nauseous. This has been happening quite a bit.
Yeah.
The internal radar is lit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And my big one was Walmart, honey. Let me tell you, Walmart.
I hate going to Walmart.
I can't do Walmart anymore.
No, when I first started awakening, like, my feet would heat up in there, my hands would heat up in there, and then I would start having panic attacks. Like, people were staring at me. I never had panic attacks, like, never. And I was like, what's happening to me? It was the same time that I was having my experiences, and I didn't realize it then. It took me years to look back on my journey and see it. So it's puzzle pieces. This is all puzzle pieces, guys. And if you feel somebody, you hear somebody speaking and you resonate with them and you feel it in your soul, bless you, listen and let somebody guide you in the right way. Because I can tell you, I come from the old school knocks of lives where I had to go to the Googles and Yahoo chats to find my little information back then, and it was all demons. So we've come a long way.
You're going to hell. That's it.
You need a satisfied demon and you're going to hell.
Yes. You're going to hell.
But wow, this hour has gone by super fast. We could probably talk for another hour.
Absolutely.
But
guaranteed.
Don't want to keep you. I know we'll have more talk about next time.
Yeah.
Next time we have you on. Holly, thank you so much. Hope you had a great birthday. Her birthday's October 13th. Was it yesterday?
13th. No.
2 days ago. Yeah, today's not
turned 40. Fabulous 40, honey.
Fabulous 40.
That's right. I'm so glad you had me on. I love you guys. I love you, Rhonda.
We love you too.
Thank you. We love you too.
Love having
I'll miss the others, but it's a party with the three of us.
Yes.
Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. So happy birthday to anybody with the October birthday.
Yes, we love our October babies. And whatever month you were born in, Rhonda, I forget what
I'm January, but I'm a Libra moon. So all
right, you're cool then. You're cool. You can join the club.
Kind of count.
You know the secret. You know the secret handshake. You're welcome in the club.
All right.
And pull yourself up a chair. You can hang out with us anytime.
Hang out with the cool kids from October.
Exactly.
That's right.
Holly, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye. That was fun. I enjoy these conversations
Always.
so much.
You never know what rabbit hole it's going to go down.
I like the direction the conversation went in. Which would have been tough if we had everyone on, I think, because it's tough when having 4 or 5 people who all know what they're talking about, and all want to get their opinions out. So having a like 3 or 4 person thing, if we're doing an open conversation like this, is a lot.
Yeah,
I think
that's a 2-hour show.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, we probably could have kept going for another hour, but I want to keep her because I know she's got stuff going on. So I figured an hour was good for her.
Things.
Exactly. So let's see. This Sunday night we're doing our freaking awesome Halloween. Well, the freaking awesome playlist Halloween special.
Yes.
The freaking awesome Paranormal Show Halloween special is in 2 weeks. So we've got that going on. We were supposed to do it Sunday. And for some reason, I opened up DoorDash and I got because Angie actually ordered food, and she was like, "You should see if you get the DoorDash, if you open it up and maybe you get it, you can get the tip." I'm like, "All right." So I opened it up stupidly, opened it up, and of course, I got an order for Buffalo Wild Wings for $10. I'm like, "Well, I can go ahead, I can do that." So I go out there and realize. Get the order. I add another one. Realized they were downtown.
Yep, I know exactly where that one is too.
No. Well, the one is in Mechanicsville. I had to drive downtown. Apparently,
I know the one. I know where the one downtown is.
Don't know. Wonder why they had to order from Mechanicsville.
Yeah, I don't do downtown.
No, neither do I. That's why. And I was like, I was walking around MCV Hospital trying to figure out what these people were. It's like 8:30. I'm like, there's no way. Then I had to go down. It was just, I could have gotten back, and I maybe could have started late, but it would have been a half-assed show. We can't do anything half-assed.
We cannot do that. Nope.
So unfortunately, I don't know how we can make it because he's got the G3.
Yeah.
We moved the podcast to the second week Sunday. We can be there.
Then he moves G3.
Yeah.
Howie.
We're gonna have to struggle through without him, which always sucks. We love having Howie on the show.
We do,
but we understand, I suppose.
Yep.
Oh, so what do you guys have coming on the Orion Effect?
We have Michelle. I think you say her last name is DeRoche. I'm not exactly sure how you say her last name. I'm bad with pronunciation, but I mean, she's going to talk all kinds of spooky stuff. She's got a podcast that she does on the UPN, so it'll be exciting to have her. She seems like really good energy, so I'm excited about that. And let's see what else we have. Sunday, I'm teaching a tarot class at Peaceful Easy Healing in the afternoon. If anybody wants to join, I think there's still a few spaces available. And the next weekend, you and I travel.
We're going to Fleetwood Paracon. I was like, what's the name of that place? I had a total brain fart. I was like, I begins with a B. I'm like, what is a B? Fleetwood Paracon. That is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And apparently you guys have a special 30-minute pre-show on Sunday.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. So if you told me that, I forgot, but I'm good. I'm good about that.
You're gonna be on live pretty much all Sunday night.
Yeah.
So make yourself comfortable. You have an hour and a half doing the Orion Effect, an hour break, and then you can be dealing with me.
Yeah.
And my Halloween songs. I promise I won't play Born to Be Alive. Maybe I will. Born to Be Alive. The roller skating top 40.
No. That song came up on a meme on TikTok though. And I was like, get out. Other people really use that song for a TikTok?
Yeah.
What?
You could be Born to Be Alive, man. It's exciting. You know what's even more exciting? Next week, we're taking a trip. We're taking a trip across the country to San Diego. We're talking to Janine Hayes from Haunted San Diego.
I love San Diego. I can't wait to hear about that.
I'm excited about hearing some stories. Isn't it the Whaley House or one of those houses over there in San Diego?
Yeah, I think so.
There's so many different Sally houses. They're just different. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
One of those houses over there. I'm excited to talk to her about Haunted San Diego. And yeah, guys, freaks, thank you so much for tuning in tonight for our special October spiritual chat birthday show. We love all October baby Dana, who was born in October.
Yep.
So happy birthday to her.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Holly,
there's
myself.
a lot of people born in October for sure.
And yeah, freaks, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Howie. Thank you, Carmen, Elizabeth, Kristen, Lois, Tina, Tyler, John Sullivan, Courtney, Mark, Matthew Ryan. Oh, Matthew Ryan from Dark Echoes tuned in. Rob Abbott, Kathy Anderson Myers, Sean and Courtney from Hill City Paranormal, Nathan Hardester, Joshua Runyon, and Shonda. Thank you very much. We will see you Sunday night for the freaking awesome Halloween playlist special only on YouTube. Same freaking awesome time.
Same freaking awesome channel.
See you later. Good night, guys.
Bye.